For my food history presentation, I will be focusing my topic on mangoes. A mango is a stone fruit, and this means that it consists of a large seed in its middle. There are hundreds of types of this fruit, some of which can be seen to the right, and they each have their own unique characteristics, such as taste, size, shape, and color. Studies have linked the nutrients of mangoes to many health benefits, some of which include improved immunity, digestive health, eyesight, and they may even lower the risk of some certain cancers. Overall, mangoes are low in calories, however, they are full of nutrients. Just a handful of the nutrients this fruit provides includes vitamin C, B6, and A, as well as copper and folate. Its most plentiful vitamin is vitamin C, which aids in immunity, the absorption of iron, and aids in growth and repair. This fruit is also high in polyphenols, which function as antioxidants. Mangoes are known to have originated from India over 4,000 years ago. In India, they were considered to be a sacred fruit, and their use eventually spread out throughout Asia and eventually the rest of the world. As Buddhism spread over Southeast Asia, mangoes quickly began to spread as well. Persians eventually took mangoes over Western Asia and then planted their seeds in East Africa during the 10th century. Portuguese explorers then brought mangoes to Brazil in the 16th century, and from here, this fruit continued to spread throughout America. Today, mangoes that are sold in grocery stores typically come from Florida, Mexico, Haiti, and South America, but 75% of all mangoes are grown in Asia. Mangoes were first typically consumed when they were fresh and raw. Overall, the way that this fruit has been used over time hasn't changed drastically, and they have always been mainly used for consumption. Most mango fruits are still eaten when they are fresh and raw. However, over time they have been introduced in many different ways. Mangoes can now be purchased pre-cut and frozen, and some are even processed into additional products such as nectar, jam, and even powder. Several technologies and methods have been invented to facilitate the use of mangoes. Researchers at a university in Mexico designed a prototype pasteurization machine that has been used to help keep mangoes in great condition after they have been harvested. This pasteurization technique preserves the mangoes and removes any pathogens that could be harmful to consumers. This technology has also helped to prevent the oxidation of mango pulp. The traditional varieties of mangoes are mostly produced by vegetative propagation, by the grafting of mango trees, which is shown in the picture on this slide. This is the preferred method of propagation because it allows the tree to produce fruit faster, since it doesn't have to start from a seed, and it's easier to manage. This process is done by taking a mature bearing piece of the tree and transferring it to a separate seedling that is called a rootstock. The mature bearing part of the tree becomes the canopy, and the rootstock becomes the trunk and the root system. These technologies and methods have both helped improve the quality and production of mangoes. One interesting social and political implication of this fruit is the mango diplomacy. Mangoes have served as a status symbol in both India and Pakistan, and both of them designated the mango as their national fruit, which has led to some controversies about who grows the best crops and varieties of mangoes. And it has also created competition in international markets. The mango diplomacy began in the early 1980s when the President of Pakistan traded varieties of mangoes with the Prime Minister of India. Decades later, the Prime Minister of India sent the Prime Minister of Pakistan 20 kilograms of mangoes to increase trust between the two nations. And after Pakistan accepted millions of aid from India after a devastating flood, they returned the favor by giving 5 crates of mangoes as a sign of gratitude. This helps to show how important mangoes are to some nations. Mangoes have even served as a way to improve economic relations and trade relations between the United States and these two nations. In 2006, the U.S. lifted its ban on Indian mangoes, and in 2011, Hillary Clinton, along with others, helped remove the ban on mangoes from Pakistan. In conclusion, this gave many Americans access to mangoes and strengthened the Indian and Pakistani economies, along with bilateral relations. And I also think this is interesting to see how much of an impact this fruit has made. Some interesting facts about this fruit include that mangoes are related to both pistachios and cashews. They are called the king of the fruit because their flavor seems to be a combination of oranges, pineapples, and peaches. According to Indian folklore, mango trees can grant wishes. They are the most popular fruit in the world. Paisley patterns, which is shown on the right, was developed in India and was based off of the shape of a mango. And lastly, a mango tree can grow as tall as 100 feet. Thank you for listening to my presentation on the history of mangoes. Here are the references I used to gather information, and I hope that you have learned some interesting information regarding this fruit.